Alright, Brush Monkeys, we're back, and this week we're finishing up our Stormwing here to wrap up Dragon December. As you recall, we did all this progress last week, and he's looking really good. This week we're going to finish up. And to start, we're going to start off with, I covered dry brushing last week, where we dry brushed his texture on his wings and his belly scales and everything, and got that really nice rough texture out of it. This week we're going to be talking about layering, which we're going to do on his claws here, and his claws on his hands, claws on his wings, and it's going to give a much smoother look than the rough texture on his wings, or wings of the belly scales. So we're going to be using the same paint that we used for those for the base coat, which is a Shabti bone. And I'm just going to show you on one foot how we do this, just to make it really easy. And then I'm going to turn the camera off and go do all the rest of it. And you'll see how it turns out looking. So we're going to do this foot right here. All we do, just get a little paint on the brush. Hopefully I can do this on camera, because I don't paint on camera a whole lot. And we're just going to fill in that claw, leaving a little bit of the shade wash at the base of the claw. Kind of a little higher than that. There we go. See how we just leave a little bit of it at the base of the claw. And we get a much smoother texture out of it while still getting that claw look. And the effect is that while yes, this is the same kind of bone material as the spines on his back and what have you, this is a much smoother, more polished look. So it's from heavy use and that kind of thing. So that's how that looks. And it also comes out looking much brighter than the spines on his back. See, those are still kind of dirty and worn, that kind of thing. Makes it look like he uses his claws a lot more. So we're going to go ahead and do that with the claws on his hands, on his wings, and his teeth in there. And then we'll move on to the next thing. Alright, so I'll see you soon. Bye. Alright, Brush Monkey, so I've got his wing spines and his claws all done. I've got his teeth painted. You can see those look pretty spiff. And you can see I've got his eyes based with the white. The reason I used white is because I'm going to be painting them with Flash Gets Yellow. And I wanted that to be, because it's a nice bright yellow color, I wanted the eyes to be nice and bright and really pop in that face. And I think that white is going to help that to really stand out. Whereas if I painted yellow just over the dark green, it'd be kind of muddy colored. So I'm going to paint that in a little bit, but first we're going to do the Dragon Scale wax, because I want to get the wax on before I do the insides of the ears, which is going to be the next thing after the white. And I also wanted to get it on before I really did the eyes, got too far into the eyes. So the Dragon Scale wax, you probably heard me talk about this before. I talked about it last week. I've done a couple other videos of little dragons where I use this stuff. And this is a product that came out back in the 80s, and I still have tons of it left, because as you can see, it's basically just, it's a solid thing. It's like eyeshadow is essentially all it is. And because it's eyeshadow, we're going to be using this ELF brush, eyes, lips, face, to dry brush it all over him. And it's essentially just a metallic eyeshadow. And you don't really have to go too hard into it. It's kind of like the Tamiya weathering powders. You can see I've got just a little bit on the brush there. Don't have to go real hard in it. And what this is going to do, and I'm going to show you on the wing because I think it'll probably look better, is, if I can get the wing out of the way of the camera, just Dry brush it over that texture. And this is what I was talking about earlier on the last video when I said that I wanted that that light green on there so that it showed up the dragon scale texture. This is what I was talking about. And you can see, even though I'm not going real hard with it, it's getting that nice metallic sheen on that texture on the wing. And it's a subtle effect, but it looks really, really fantastic. And you can use, I'm using this ELF brush because it's big. For most applications, you can use like a little eyeshadow applicator, like this little thing here, and you can pick these up for a couple of bucks at most beauty supply places. They're not real hard to find. Just about any place that sells makeup will sell those. But that's just all you do. It's just dry brushing, really. I'm not going to go all the way down the arms on these things because they're kind of small, and really you just kind of want it on the scales itself. And it makes that nice metallic, gives that nice metallic green sheen. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. So that's really all it is. If you get a chance to pick up some of the stuff from eBay, that's fantastic. Otherwise, you can find, you can find metallic eyeshadow in most places. It's going to be a little expensive because metallic eyeshadow is ridiculous. But yeah, and I'm basically just going to do the main body, the wings, all the way down the tail isn't really necessary. I'll do a little bit on the end of the tail, but for the most part, those little spines are kind of going to get in the way of most of it. But that'll give a suggestion that it continued on down the tail. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and continue this, and then we'll do up the eyes. All right, see you soon. Bye. All right, the dragon scale wax is done. As you can see, it's hopefully you can see that on camera. It's a really subtle effect, but it does make that nice metallic sheen to the wings and the scales, what have you. And it looks really fantastic in person. I hope that shows up on camera. Also, you can see I did his eyes. Gotta step his eyes. Little black pupil there. Looks really spiff. You can see he's looking straight on. He looks pretty menacing. The ears, I decided to go with a more fleshy color than the pale flesh that I had. I didn't think it didn't look pink enough. It didn't look like skin enough. So I used the brown rose mixed with that undead flesh and mixed in a little bit of the dark green that I'd used earlier as a touch-up color, and it still looks a little fleshy to me. It looks a little too pink and looks out of place. So I'm going to give it a wash with a thin down mixture of Coelia Green Shade and Lamian Medium. Let's see if maybe that makes it look... I want it to look like skin, but I want it to look like the dragon skin, so... I want it to look kind of greenish, but still like there's blood flowing through it and it's alive. So... give it that little wash of green on top of the pink. It'll help shade it down around the bottom of it as well, which I think will help. Down inside the pit of the ears and on the edges. There we go. That's way too much. Get that out of there. Okay, I've got a freaking air bubble in there. There we go. Trying to do this on camera. There we go. All right, see, that looks a little more of a pale greenish color. It looks a little more pinkish green and a little less greenish pink, if that makes any sense. There we go. That is what I was after. Alright, so that having been accomplished, the last thing to do is the base, and getting into some, not sure what just happened there, putting some flock and what have you on that. I'm going to take some of that same wash that I just mixed up, that thin green wash, and paint it in places on the base, and then we'll go over, once that dries, we'll go over it with white glue and sprinkle a little bit of flocking on it and make it look kind of mossy and that kind of thing. Alright, so I'll see you soon. Bye. Alright, brush monkey, so his basing is pretty well done. You can see I've painted, all I did was I took a little bit of white glue, painted it into all these little cracks and crevices on there, and then sprinkled some, this is just model railroading flock, grass. You can kind of see the texture on there. Just sprinkled that in there to make some moss here and there. And then these little tufts are gamer's grass, wild tufts, gamer's grass tufts. $6 for a pack at my local hobby store. I like these over the, this is one of the few things that I think Army Painter could probably work on, because Army Painter tufts, if you can see these packs, this is kind of a similar product from Army Painter, and you can see they've got 30 of these little tufts. They got 12 of these medium ones here, and then they got 35 of these little medium ones, and then 12 of these bigger ones. But they're all round. They're all just these perfectly round little tufts, and grass doesn't grow like that in the wild. And all their tufts are kind of like that. Here's some lighter green ones. But the gamer grass ones, you see, these are the same color, same kind of pattern. Dark green at the base, lighter green at the top, like it's dead grass. But these are all irregular shapes. And there's little angles, there's curves, there's little round ones in there, but they're not as many. And you got little triangle patches and things like that. And that fits much better into irregular spaces like the base of this rock, where I needed to kind of curve around. And here too. And I did a little round one there. I did a little round one here in this little crevice. But it looks much more natural that way. So, and when you're doing your dragon, you can add other little things to the base, like little body parts if you've got some bits box out there, or a skull or something like that. I didn't feel like adding something else I had to paint to it. I just wanted the base to be fairly, I like my bases to be fairly minimal color palette, minimal visual noise going on, so that so it shows off the figure better. You're focused on the figure rather than what's going on the base. So that's pretty well it for that guy. I'm gonna let that glue dry, and then I'm gonna matte seal him, and the next time you see this guy, he'll be completely done, and we can wrap up this video. Alright, I'll see you soon. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, there he is, our finished Stormwing. You're getting a lot more of the background into this one because he's such a huge figure, but I think he looks really good. I'm really happy with how he came out, and for once I'm kind of glad that this can of matte seal doesn't actually matte at all, because it still allows that metallic flavor of the dragon scale to show through. And he looks really, really spiff. You can see the shimmer on the wings and the scales. I'm really happy with how this guy turned out. So that's going to do it for Dragon December. I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Next week we'll be starting in on Dita, the Steampunk Witch. And we'll go from there. So I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun little figure. This was a lot of fun to paint this dragon. So thanks for watching. And I will see you guys next week. Bye. Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom from Flying Monkey Studios here. If you like what you see, click like down below. If you want to be notified when new videos come out, go ahead and click subscribe. It's like over here somewhere, right there. Those will both help with my YouTube numbers, and bring me that much closer to monetizing this channel and being able to do what I love to do full time. If you want to get your hands on some of the miniatures I've painted here, visit our Instagram and Tumblr pages. I post pictures of both of those on a regular basis. I post videos on TikTok on a regular basis, mostly to direct traffic here to the YouTube channel, but you know, there's some other stuff there that's kind of cool. So go check that out. And if you want to show some love for your favorite monkey-based miniature painter, go check out our merch store at storefrontier.com/flyingmonkeystudios to get our t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve t-shirts, can cozies, aprons, face masks. We've got all kinds of stuff there in a bunch of different colors, including tie-dye. We've got some tie-dye shirts on there if you want to check that out. So go check that out. Go check us out on our other social medias and follow us on Twitter for updates on the channel as well. And thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.